Hi guys, today I'm going to explain the procedure of how I change the transmission fluid and also check the transmission fluid level in my 2005 Ford Mustang with the 4.0 liter V6 with the automatic transmission, which is a sealed transmission, no dipstick. Okay, so in one of my other videos, I made a video similar to this one, but I just showed you guys what tools you're going to need. So what tools you guys will need, you'll check out that other video. It has pictures so you guys can see, but you have to buy a special nipple that screws in the transmission for ejecting it. You can get them at your Ford dealership or on eBay brand new, and I paid $20 through a company on eBay for mine. And then I also use an electric 12 volt pump to inject the fluid up into there. And I paid $20 for that too, I believe, brand new on eBay. And then you will also need Torx head sockets um, to get the middle plug out of the transmission. Okay, so with mine, um, I bought the vehicle and it's just about brand new. I did buy it when it just came off warranty. It was only 4 years old with 36,000 miles, and the transmission fluid had never been changed. And finally, at 131,000 miles, I decided to change the transmission fluid on that 2005 Ford Mustang for the first time in its life. So to get underneath of there, I took my floor jack and I jacked up each side of it, and I put it on boards for safety. I put two by sixes right next to each other underneath of each tire, and I would just rotate the floor jack around there, getting it up higher and higher until I would have like five of them underneath of each tire, and then I was actually able to fit underneath of there. And for adding that transmission or checking the transmission fluid, the transmission has to be cold. So that's why this is a very quick process. You've got to do this. You're kind of fighting time, is what it is. So when the car is off, all of your transmission fluid it bleeds out of your clutches and it all settles in the oil pan of it. And with this transmission, these sealed ones here, it's got a hex head plug in the bottom, just like on your engine oil on a car. But the plug is actually hollow, and it actually has a standpipe inside of it. The actual bolt or plug is the standpipe, and then there's a little Torx head screw or whatever in the center of it, and that's how you check it. So what you first got to do is I go ahead and I put a combination wrench on the hex head uh, plug or whatever, and I take my Torx bit or whatever, and I go ahead and I just crack it loose because it's sometimes they need to be pretty tight, especially if it's the first time you've ever changed it. So then I'll go up top there and I'll start up the car, and I will run the transmission through all of the gears and leave it in each gear for 3 seconds. That way you're filling up the clutches, and then at that point you are at the right level. So then I will go underneath of there and I go ahead and I take out that Torx screw in the middle. And if any fluid is coming out of there, it means that it's full. But if nothing's coming out of there, it means that it needs oil or whatever. So, um, and I guess if you're going to be doing a transmission fluid change, all you would do is you would pull out the big hex head standpipe and just let all of it come out into your oil pan, and then you will have to dump that into 1 quart containers and measure how much you took out of the transmission. So then you will add that amount plus 1 extra quart because you want to overfill it, and then so that it's fully topped off, and then you'll be able to drain out any of the excess. So after you've drained it, go ahead and put your plugs all back in and measure how much you need. Um, and like I said, the car's gonna be off during this time here. And you will go ahead and you will take that pump and that nipple, you go ahead and you take out that Torx screw in the center and remove that, and you'll screw in that nipple, and then onto that nipple you will insert the hose from the electric 12 volt pump that I have hooked up to an extra battery in my garage, and then stick the other hose coming out of your pump into one of your transmission fluid containers, your little 1 quart jug or 5 quart, whatever you have, and you will go ahead and you will inject um, whatever, however many quarts that you drained out plus one, and then you will go ahead and um, take off the nipple and put in um, the plug, and you will go ahead and you will start up the car, and you will run it through all the gears, each one for 3 seconds. Then you will pull that little Torx head screw, and and you'll let the fluid drain out, because all the fluid is going to be suspended up in your clutches right now, and um, so yeah, so you're going to pull that out, and it'll start coming out. And once it's just like a really slow stream, go ahead and put in your Torx screw and tighten everything up, and then you're done. It's full. But like I said, that fluid, if it gets too hot inside transmission over like 95 degrees or something like that, which it heats up fast, it expands, and then you would be draining too much fluid out, because warm fluid takes up more volume than cold fluid. And another thing, be very careful, because uh, down there where those plugs are, they're right next to your exhaust pipe. And my first time down there, you're in such a hurry and everything because you're fighting time so this fluid doesn't get too hot. And my forearm, actually, when that bolt broke loose or whatever, my forearm touched the exhaust pipe, and I just started the car, and the exhaust got so hot it just melted my skin, and I have a permanent scar there now. So whenever I'm doing this job, I always make sure I have thick cotton gloves, and I always make sure I have a long sleeve sweatshirt on, no matter how hot it is. But even with a sweatshirt on, that exhaust will burn right through there. It's not fun. This style of transmission is such a pain in the butt to maintain, but amazingly they are very reliable. Because I saw on YouTube that there was one for a 2005 Ford Mustang just like mine with a 4.0 liter V6, and it had 335,000 miles and was still running. Which is amazing. And then my coworker, he has a 2002 Ford Explorer with the same transmission as my car, and um, he's at 379,000 miles on it, still on his original engine, and but he is on his second transmission. But that's still pretty darn good for having a vehicle that long. So, um, and with mine, I don't put that many miles on mine. Mine is just a backup vehicle, because in 2022, with the $5 per gallon gas and $6 per gallon diesel fuel, I I realized I could have kept my vehicles going forever, but um, at that point, it was that I just had to bite the bullet and buy another car that got at least 35 miles per gallon, and I just keep my Mustang now as my third vehicle, my backup, um, in case my really good gas mileage car would ever take a crap. I could drive this until I get that other one back on the road. So, but yeah, I'll always keep this Mustang around as a backup. So, because they don't sell for very much money anyway. So, yeah, that's about all I can think of. I hope this helps you guys. And I made another video of if you're having trouble with your transmission, what could be wrong with it too. Oh, and I should add also, what I found out with automatic transmissions too is never take it in to get the transmission flushed or the filter changed. Because I've had that experience of taking it to dealerships, and it always ended up badly. Um, uh, I guess I got lucky with my Ford Tempo when I took it in for a transmission flush, because it only had like 79,000 miles on it. But one of my coworkers, they had a Chevy Impala, and they decided to take it in for the first time. Must have been like higher mileage or whatever. And they had them flush out the torque converter, the entire system, and after that, the transmission quit working. They require that dirtier fluid. But with my vehicles, like they never had the transmission fluid change until higher miles. But what I do is I just pull the plug and measure how much is drained out, so it always has some of that old stuff, and it doesn't hit the system as fast of debris going throughout it. So this, even on my 2003 Chevy Silverado. I don't think anybody's ever changed the transmission fluid on it. I did the drain on it. It's only like a quart and a half, 2 quarts that comes out, and I put in new stuff, and I've never had any issues. And I've had the thing 9 years now. So, um, and then what else on those? Um, there was something else I want to say about the transmissions there. Um, Oh, okay. Like Project Farm, what he's always done is like the 4L60Es and like the 99 to 2003 Silverados. Those are notorious for failing at 130 to 150,000. He's amazingly got 300,000 on his. And what he actually does is he took one of those 12-volt pumps like I have. He went ahead and every oil change, he sticks the hose down into his dipstick or the dipstick tube of his 4L60 in his Suburban, and he sucks out 1 quart of tranny fluid and he replaces it with one new quart. And and with it being diluted like that, it's lasted him 300,000 and still going. So, all right, I hope this stuff helps you guys. So, all right, if you guys like this content, like, share, and subscribe. And like I said, I have tons of other videos on how to repair your 2005 to 2009 Ford Mustangs. So, all right, take care. Bye.